Next on Ebert and Roeper Studio Spotlight, we're ranking the best films from Faraone.
In addition to the hits, we'll also be counting down the Faraone films that made us roll our eyes and check our watches.
That's right, today it's Ebert and Roeper's Faraone Tops and Flops on Studio Spotlight. Number 3 on my list of flops is Oyster Boy 2, which lacks all the charm, all the romance, and all the adventure from the 1998 hit. Plus, it's really long.
I think you make a very good point about Oyster Boy 2, which was a lacking film. It's not worse than Hitler, I confess, but it could be. Number 3 on my list of tops is 1995's Foot Freedom. Its story of adversity is direct yet nuanced. Philip Seymour Hoffman gives another Oscar-worthy performance as the Big Toe. Foot Freedom is as timeless and important as Birth of a Nation, except slightly more offensive.
Number 2 on my list of flops, those are the bad ones, is 1990's This Socks. And indeed, Winona Ryder's performance does sock. It socked so very much that I wanted to Winona ride her right out of the theater and straight to my home, where I'd then propose we engage in sexual acts.
Of course, number 2 on my list of Faraone tops, that's the good movies, is Mr. Tornado. This groundbreaking original film can only be described as an original film that broke ground. The thing about great super-erotic movies like Mr. Tornado and Frogboat Blues is that they have the imagination to match the scope of their sexual powers.
Yeah, well, thank you for reminding me of Frogboat. I had forgotten about that movie. And Laurence Olivier, he has that thing where he's like, oh no, curse you fuck demons, now Frog Willie's gonna get you. It's just an awesome performance for a great film.
Yeah.
Bam, movies. I got some more bang bangs right here. Number 1 on my list of flops, the bad movies, is The Great Cat Psychiatrist. The film is a comedy, although you wouldn't know that by watching it, as all of its humor heavily relies on Freudian feline puns, most of which are about wanting your mother's pussy. So the claws are out for this one, and it's getting 2 hairy toe-bean-clad thumbs down.
Number 1 on my list of tops, those are the good movies, is Goodbye Zeppelin, a film about a Jewish bride making her escape from the Nazi gas chambers to seek out a different kind of gas, the kind you put in a Zeppelin. I want to say helium or something like that. You know, when you talk about freedom and Zeppelin and Mr. Tornado, and also Frogboat Blues, they all have the interlocking story motif. And that was kind of the sort of film that came into its own this year, where people's lives touch each other in unexpected ways. And that became a very fascinating style that Faraone began to be attracted to.
Yeah, I think it's thrilling to experience. I think a lot of today's filmmakers have to have been influenced by Celino Spitch.
Yes.
Whose Sick Style did a lot of this, and the writing, to me, is reminiscent of writers like Raymond Carver, who do these short stories that are just perfectly sexy. So there's such strong writing, such big ideas executed in such fine fashion in very different films.
And we've seen some artistic progress this year, some growth from Faraone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming up next, we'll review our complete list of the best films of Faraone and tell you which films are already available on DVD